Shri Mataji. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Let's bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Mother Kundalini and put Bandhan. Shri Ganesh Mantra. Let us bring our attention on our left heart. Mataji, by your grace, I am a pure spirit. this ego and superego. I am just a pure spirit. Right hand on your forehead. I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. Hand on our Sahasrara. Mataji, for giving us self-realization. It will help us to establish our self-realization fully. Bless us with thoughtless awareness state. Put our hand back on the lap. The attention on Sahasrara. Just listen to Shri Mataji's speech.
Today we are celebrating the resurrection of Christ. That is the greatest message of Christ's life, not the crucifixion. Anybody can be crucified and killed, but this dead body of Christ was resurrected from death. Death itself died and he overcome. It's a miracle for ordinary human beings, definitely, but not for Christ, because he was a divine person. He was Sri Ganesha. He was Omkara itself. So, he could walk on the water. Gravity would not affect him. And also, he got resurrected because death could not affect him. Such a great divine personality. specially created for human beings, that people should recognize him. But they did not recognize him. They killed him in a very brutal manner. And even now, they think cross is a great thing because Christ died on the cross. It's a very cruel idea of human beings to respect the cross. What does it show? It shows that people liked all the cruelties done to him, symbolizing cross as the one that represented his death and his atrocities, the way he was tortured. So it was a very sad time when he was crucified. But when he got resurrected, it was the most joyous, most auspicious, and most beautiful time. The resurrection of Christ is very symbolic for surgery. If Christ could be resurrected, then human beings also can be resurrected, because he came as a human being with all powers, and he created the path of resurrection for us. This path of resurrection is the one that we have followed in Sahaja. But the greatest thing is the piercing of the Agya Chakra, which is described in all spiritual treatises, or may be called as the scriptures, that is the door which is golden, which is like a cover, and no one can pass through that. So constricted is this door of Agya Chakra. But Christ did cross that. His crossing has helped us today to open your Agya. Without opening the Agya, you cannot go to Sastra. And this was done so easily in your case, only because Christ could go through all that torture and all that brutality and crossed over. How much we should be indebted to him, I don't know words that can express. Because he is the one who took lead in telling people that you seek and you will find. And then he says that you have to come and bang at the door. This is exactly what has happened in your case. That you have risen up to Agya and then you have crossed beyond Agya. This crossing of Agya was not at all difficult for you. Though by your own ideas of thinking and of conditioning, of the futuristic planning and all that, it was a big crowd, I should say, of very black clouds were hovering on the thoughts were overpowering. And you could not have penetrated through this Agya which was all covered. But you did. And you never even felt that you have crossed the Agya Chakra so easily. First of all, we all should really be very thankful to Christ for opening the Agya for you. For him, all the tortures and all the brutality were nothing, because his purpose of life purpose of his advent, his incarnation was to break the Agya chain. Today you will find that even though your Agya is opened out and you have crossed through, still you will be amazed that people get involved in the Agya chain. In Sahaja Yoga, people do get involved in Agya chain. Now, how do we see through introspection what happens to us? For example, once people come to Sahaja Yoga, they think they are in charge of this, in charge of that, in charge of all the Sahaja Yogis, and they start behaving in a manner which doesn't behove a Sahaja Yogi. Doesn't. I've seen them and I'm amused the way they just start trusting themselves and showing off that they are very much in charge. This is nothing modern. This is used to be there with human beings. But if it was so, it was before Sahaja Yoga. Even now, people get into the mood of dominating others by saying that we are in charge. Sahaja Yoga is not so simple as it, because there are lots of temptations. Supposing you make somebody a leader. Now leader becomes sort of in charge, and he gets the drunkenness of power. When he is like that, he starts dominating all the rest of the people and also starts showing off that he is something very great and he has to dominate all the rest of the people. Then he creates an atmosphere of fear. Firstly, I've seen what happens with them is that they start saying falsely that mother has told this, mother has said so, this is mother's ideas. I have nothing to do with that gentleman. But he goes on talking like that and people get very frightened. Then also he can also frighten you by saying, I will tell mother. Mother will listen to me and she'll punish you. I am sometimes very surprised at such people because I have never said that I'll punish somebody or I'll take him out of Sahaja Yoga. Nothing of that. So this man who thinks no end of himself, he may be a leader, may not be a leader, maybe nothing in Sahaja Yoga. And then he starts talking like this in such a funny manner that it doesn't look that the person is a Sahaja Yogi. Then he goes even further. He goes himself describing as something very great, as if he is the one who is chosen specially for the rising higher and higher. When I hear about these things, I am really amazed. How can people befool themselves all the time and behave in such a manner? First thing in Sahaja Yoga is humility. If you are not a humble person, you cannot be a Sahaja Yogi. The person who orders about, the person who talks in a manner as if he is Hitler, any person who tries to control and be in charge of the thing, all these capacities only show that that person has achieved nothing in his life. First thing is to enjoy the humility. I've seen people like this. They'll always sit in the first row. They'll be always sitting in a place where you just see them all the time there. And just smile. I know they are just show-offs. They think no end of themselves. And that's why they are there. But they themselves are losing. They themselves are not very happy. That's why they try to do all these tricks and this kind of domination. The other side of it is people who are humble, who are simple, who are honest, and who are really seeking the truth, are being oppressed by this gentleman. He oppresses them, tries to show off, tries to make slaves out of others. I have seen people have gone so far that there was a group of people who just would not move even an inch without the permission of their leader. And they would go all out to be subservient to such a irrational personality. First of all, you know, this is the love of mother. Mother never dominates. She cannot dominate because she is nothing but love. As soon as she sees the problem, immediately she absorbs it. She has to make deliberations, just a drama sometimes to show that she is angry. But she cannot basically be angry with him. It's the love which all the time is flowing. And that love envelops the mother as well as envelops you. That is how you people understand such. What does a human being need is nothing but love and compassion. Love and compassion of a very, very pure type. Look at Christ. He pitied the people who crucified him. He told his Father, God Almighty, that please forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. He could see that the blindness of these people are doing wrong things, and God the Father will be very annoyed, who is wrathful and may destroy them. So this is what it was done with a very compassionate feeling. Without thinking about, just automatically he felt that these people are doing all this to me and I don't know what will happen to them. So he prayed to God, to Father, please forgive. Please forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. They are blind. So please do not punish them. What compassion, what love. I mean, think of it. Do we do that in our life? If somebody harms us, troubles us, do we ask Father to forgive those who do not know what they are doing? That should be the level of surgery. And it will work out very well. If you ask for forgiveness, God will look after them. He'll transform them. He'll bring them to their senses. The message of Christ are full of love, compassion, pure compassion. How he tried to protect Mary Magdalene is an example of it, who was leading a sinful life. And for a saint, it had nothing to do, he had nothing to do with it. But when he saw she being stoned by people, he stood against her, took a stone in his own hand, and he says, all right, those who have not committed suicide, have not committed any wrong deed or have not committed any sin, can take the stone and hit me. And nobody came forward because they had to face themselves. When we are dominating others, then a kind of a cruel joy is there. Some sort of a joy that I don't understand myself, but people have. They show off that we have achieved this joy, we have achieved this great power. It has happened for centuries with all the great emperors and also despotic rulers. But with Sahaja, it should be the other way now. They have to rule the world with peace and love. They don't have to show off by any chance. This is how Sahaja will spread much, much faster. What does the world need? You just think of it. It needs only love and affection. Those people who are yet lost in the ignorance about life and are still busy troubling others, torturing others, going against the collectivity, will have to return to normalcy. It's very abnormal behavior sometimes, and you just don't understand why they behave like mad people. It is very difficult also to tell such a person that you are mad. And also it's difficult to be with such a person who is so mad, with some sort of a power. It goes on like that with so many Sajogis I have seen, who start thinking they have lots of powers. They can do whatever they like. They can talk to anyone, and they can confuse everyone. But in Sahaja Yoga, you don't have to confuse. You have to clearly express your love. But that doesn't mean any kind of a particular gesture or a particular happening. But it is just a inner oneness with each other. Sometimes I find Sahajas so much understanding each other, so much loving each other, so beautifully enjoying the love of other people. When I see that, I feel very, very happy, absolutely overjoyed. That's what I wanted. These people should enjoy is that. And you'll be amazed. The most enjoyable thing is the love that you give to others. You may not receive, but when you give love to others, then it's the most enjoyable thing. But the way you express yourself is also an art, I think, to understand how to please others, how to make them happy. I told the story before also about a saint who lived in Gagan Bauda. Is a what you can say, is a hill or a mountain. He used to live there, and he couldn't walk, you see, because of vibrations. He lost his legs or something, power in it. And then he would go all over the place on a tiger, because tiger loved him and he loved the tiger. So this gentleman was all the time telling people from Bombay, "What are you doing here? Mother has come, go and touch her." I didn't know why he was so much concerned. So I told Sahajogis, I must go and meet him. So all these gurus, you see, they say that we don't leave our pillows. We have to be in our own pillow, means wherever they live, exist, they won't go out. I'm the other way round. I'm never stationed in one place. So they asked if I could go. I said, why not? So I went there. And the Sahaja said that, "Mother, you never go anywhere. So why do you want to go here?" I said, all right, see the vibration. And it's tremendous vibration. So when I went out, this fellow was very angry with the rain, because he was supposed to control the rain. He was supposed to be controlling the rain. It's very surprising that when I went up, he could not control, and I got completely drenched. So he was very angry. He was sitting on a stone, and doing like this with the anger. I didn't say anything to him. I went inside and sat in the cave where he had made some arrangement for me to be seated. Then he came, he touched my feet, and he sat down. And I was amazed that he was still angry, and he couldn't understand why the rain could not stop. So he asked me, why did you not allow me to stop the train? Because after all, you are coming to see me all the way, and the rain should have behaved. And I also could not somehow or other control the rain. So what was the thing? What was the lesson? I just smiled. I said, see, you are an ascetic, you are a sannyasi, and I am your mother. I cannot take a sari from you, because after all you are a sannyasi, and you are not supposed to take anything from a sannyasi. Even the mother cannot take anything from him. But you have bought a nice sari for me. So I had to get drenched so that I could take a sari from him. You see, the sweetness of my telling him just made him melt down. Started crying. He said, we need a mother for this one. There should be the mother. We cannot serve, because whatever it is, we get angry. Or we want to disappear. We don't want to be with these horrible people who are so sinful, to help them. This is the problem with the world today, and that's why you find very few spiritual people in the whole world, because they are the ones who are being very much tortured, troubled, insulted, all kinds of things. So they are struggling, so they want to die very fast. Gyaneshwara, such a great personality, such a great writer, poet. I mean, he was everything, so beautiful he has written. But at the age of 23, he took his samadhi. Means he went into a cave and closed the cave and died. Must have been tired and fed up with the surroundings of ignorant people. And that's why he did. So you can imagine a person like Gyaneshwara, who was the incarnation of Kartikeya, had to recede into the world of the dead because he couldn't bear it anymore, the way they were torturing them. They tortured him so much, saying that he is the son of a sannyasi, and he has, it's like this, son of a sannyasi, means he is no good. He is absolutely like an illegitimate child, and he is ill-treated to such an extent. He didn't even have shoes to wear in that heat of India. He used to walk barefoot. And his sister, brother, who were great scholars, who were great saints, great incarnations, all of them. As a result, he wanted just to disappear. And he made a beautiful way of doing it, that he told them that I have to go, and he took leave from them and went inside his cave and got a samadhi. Even Christ was very young when he was crucified. He was 33 years of age. It was all planned by the divine that he was to be crucified, to make way for our Sahaja, to open the Agya, to sacrifice his life.
साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Shri Mataji for this beautiful meditation. Thank you for sending your son to sacrifice and resurrect for us so that we can get self-realization. Thank you again and again. Jai Shri Mataji. Let's bow down to Shri Mataji and take Bandhan.